On Tuesday, we saw the addition of the Cowboy Bebop collab, Hero Mastery Gauntlet, and the Los Muertos weapon skins for both Junkrat and Soldier, which will be available for purchase in the upcoming weeks. All this stuff is pretty cool, but the most important thing we got on Tuesday was the mid-season patch, in which a lot of heroes got buffs. Some got slightly less buffed than others, but we'll take it because it's better than nothing. Some of these buffs were huge. I'm talking so big that they've changed the current meta due to how good they are. And in this video I'm going to be talking about these buffs specifically. There's no point in talking about the smaller buffs like Illari's fire rate being slightly increased or Mei getting 20 more ammo, because they don't really change too much. It just means they might be able to get a couple more kills here and there, whilst there are some phat changes with a pH that have made heroes that weren't very popular at the start of the season to suddenly become very, very popular. I'll jump into that in a minute, but first I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. I think one of the most important buffs we need to look at in this patch is Mauga's cardiac overdrive being on a lower cooldown and filling his passive overhealth, which allows him to stay alive for a lot longer than before. Overdrive is now on a 10-second cooldown but lasts for 4 seconds instead of 5. Which actually doesn't really hinder him, especially considering that the DPS passive has been changed so that heroes on the receiving end of DPS bullets now receive 15% less healing from supports, instead of 20% less healing from supports. This slight change means that Mauga can now feasibly sustain his health and not explode after being in combat for less than 3 seconds, which is great because he still has the capacity to deal a lot of damage. Another change that we should keep our eyes on is Symmetra's Photon Beam and turrets getting a very nice buff that generally makes her very, very strong. Photon Beam has been buffed from dealing 60 damage per second to 65 damage per second, with the new maximum damage per second being increased up to a whopping 195 damage per second. This is actually more damage than Reaper's Death Blossom, which has been buffed up to 185 damage per second. On top of this, her turrets now have 50 health and deal 30 damage per second, being increased from 25 damage per second. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, you'll notice it when you play against her. Her teleporter also got a buff. It's been increased from 200 overall health to 300 overall health, with 200 of it being shields. In short, she's pretty damn strong now. I'm yet to actually play her with these buffs, but I've been both on the receiving end of it and have had a Symmetra on my team. So I can wholeheartedly say that yes, she is popping off right now. The last buff I want to talk about is the overall buff to Roadhog's hook combo, making it much more consistent like it was when he was originally reworked. Hook now pulls enemies closer to Roadhog, being changed from 4 meters to 3 meters, and the vertical knockback on Pigpen has decreased by 43%, making it a lot easier to hit your shots in the hook combo. It was never really difficult, but this makes it a lot more consistent to hit. Does this mean anyone is going to play him outside of Ilios? Maybe. I guess we'll see, but I haven't seen many hogs so far. Mainly because all the tank players are either A, playing Mauga, or B, retiring. But that just about does it for this video. If you want to see all of the buffs, then I'll put the link in the description of this video so that you can read the full patch notes. But these 3 buffs are probably the biggest of this patch. Don't get me wrong, the others are very nice, but when they buff Mauga so much that he becomes the new meta, that's when you know something is up. Is it wrong? Maybe. We don't need to go back to a time where Mauga was the meta because we've had that before and it was, quite frankly, disgusting. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Let me know in the comments what you think about this patch. Are you liking the buffs, or do you think they need to be tweaked a bit more? Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.